Good afternoon for Maria, morning for Marisol
Okay.
and I. Everybody, welcome back to the 22 Panels Love and Rockets Book Club. Um, yeah, I'm Tad. Marisol's here. Maria's here. And we're on
We're here.
Love and Rockets issue number 30 from 1989. Uh, we're gonna skip over Jaime's 93 million miles from the sun, at least initially, to jump to the second chapter of Beto's Voice River, which is intense.
Super
Uh,
intense.
Yeah, like oof.
yeah, uh, we were this make. I was mentioning off air. I mean, in terms of the greater Love and Rockets story, we learn a lot about both where Luba and Ophelia developed into who they are here. Uh, Luba is a very young child, is just kind of passed around.
Mhm.
Uh, and Ophelia, yeah, I'm gonna let Maria run with Ophelia here because
Oh,
I don't, yeah, I don't know how to do it justice off the bat, and I
okay.
know you do.
I don't know, but well, the first thing is uh, oh, what's his name? God help me. Um, the Luba's dad, the Indio.
Right.
Yeah.
He's gone to the big city to um and with Luba after
Right.
losing his job, and you see him confronting the class divide in the city, with that woman in the beach that she doesn't want her kid playing with Luba,
Right.
and he gets really upset, and he's begging in the streets with her, and he's obviously traveling to a place that we don't know, and we finally find out that he's gone to uh to meet Hilda, who is his sister, is it?
Sister, I think,
Okay.
yeah.
His sister, I think, and who's blind, and oh, yeah, his brother. Sorry, I read this a couple of weeks ago, so I'm a bit. I probably
Yeah,
shouldn't
and
have let me do this.
there's so
Uh,
much that happens in this.
yes. So they live in this little island somewhere, I guess in Central America somewhere.
Yeah.
And all this happens in Central America somewhere. And Ophelia kind of is a young woman at this point, and
Right.
she she kind of is a bit resentful of having to look after Luba.
Well, she's like a late teen,
She's
early
just,
20s.
yeah, like
She
she's like
wants
a
to live her own
teenager.
life,
Yeah,
and now suddenly she's got to
yeah,
take this 2-year-old everywhere with her.
yeah. And she kind of trains her to kind of
Sit still.
sit down and
Yep.
shut up, and
Yeah.
by
It's a threat
wagging
Wagging
her,
her fist.
violence.
yeah. And and she goes and has political meetings,
Yeah.
with anti-government, you know, um, uh, sort of people on the left,
Right.
and sorry, I should have probably reread. It's
No, it's okay.
interesting that these people are discussing the Somoza regime, which is the Nicaraguan the Nicaraguan regime. So in 1989, the Sandinistas were active in Nicaragua in the late 80s. I believe around then the Sandinistas won the revolution.
That sounds right.
And I should have probably done a little bit of refreshed my memory, but I think the Sandinistas.
This is a book club. We only have to go so deep. People want to learn more. There are history books. Go read them.
Yeah.
We might, but I mean, you talked off air about how you lived some of this, so this was not an easy read for you. Don't apologize for not not going and digging into it deeper.
Yeah, so basically, so they're discussing she's going, people are discussing all this stuff in secret because it's really dangerous, it was. And I remember Ophelia is not necessary. She's not a guerrilla. She's not really she's not even sure of the really what her friends are talking about,
but
she's
she
not
she does seem to be sure that this government is bad.
Yeah, the government's bad, but she's not involved politically, in the revolution, she's, which is the position of a lot of people, I lived through the Salvador. I left El Salvador because of the civil war. I left around 1984. So when the war the war started around the real war, or if you like, when everybody went underground and the real kind of stuff started to happen was around 1980, 1981. Before that, it was just protests, and the students would protest, the government would gun them down, really, and then everybody kind of went, fuck this, and they started, and all the left wing organizations got together and became an army. Basically, they all basically decided, fuck this, we're going to fight back. And they got weapons and they got support from outside, whatever, I don't know.
There's a particularly interesting panel to me in here where they're talking the first time, where Ophelia's like, yeah, I'm going, even though it's going to mostly be a bunch of extremist boneheads pathetically defending Stalin and his progressive
exactly.
But then her friend is like, beggars can't be choosers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right.
Till next, so it's like they're even aware that they're not necessarily picking an angel, but it's their devil.
Yeah. Well, because like with like I was saying earlier of air, the Cold War was between the United States and the Eastern Bloc, or Russia, or the Soviet Union, or whatever. But it wasn't cold for us, for us it was hot. because they were basically using us as their, if the United States would prop up governments that were repressive or really right wing, and they didn't support the needs of the people, and then the people would kind of go, well, hey, we need to change this, and then the governments would shoot them, and then the people would be like, okay, what can we do? They'd be like, well, the Cubans had a revolution, and let's have a revolution, because
Well,
they
and
seem
for a
to it
long
seemed to be
time,
a good idea at the time, like
if the U.S. was arming the government, then the Soviets were arming the rebels, and if the Soviets were arming the
yeah,
government, the U.S. was arming the rebels. Um,
yeah, and they were basically fighting their little war
right,
amongst themselves through Latin America,
right.
and if there's a couple of there were a couple of instances, like I was saying, like in Chile and in Guatemala, where governments were democratically elected in the United States, funded
They're
the
overthrown.
they were overthrown with funding from the United States government. So
There's actually
legally elected governments were overthrown violently with the
there,
help of the United States.
there's a
So it was like, what do we do?
Oof.
great book, and I think I don't remember how much it goes into Cold War era, but it certainly covers um, all of the early era of um, gangsters of capitalism. Smedley Butler, the Marines, and the Making and Breaking of America's Empire by Jonathan Katz. Uh,
Mm.
really covers the long history of where the United States got involved and why,
Mm.
um, and did it through a member of the Marines who I think eventually was second in command of the Marines. I forget exactly
Mm.
how high he rose, but who from like early 1900s to the 1950s was pretty much everywhere the Marines went, Philippines, Haiti, Mexico, etc. Um, but but when he retired, kind of realized, oh, everything I did was just about making money for somebody.
Mm.
There's no difference between what we did and what the what the mob's doing on the streets here. Um,
Mm.
and wrote about that in a book called War is a Racket. Oh, War is a Racket. Um,
Mm. Yeah.
so that's
So
an
so
interesting
for the
read.
local people,
Right.
they're just trying to change their country,
Mhm.
and they're being, they're being manipulated basically, by these big countries. And so this story is about the drama, the interior drama, which is really good that Beto, I mean, that he understood this so well, that
Yeah.
the people, especially somebody who grew up in the States, he obviously read
Well, I mean, you
accounts of
sent him that
people.
book.
I did. I did send it. I did
This
send
could
him
be
a
your
book
fault.
about.
If we ever talk to Beto, we'll have to ask.
Yeah, yeah. I did send him a book about this woman from El Salvador who was telling her story about her
Do
case.
you remember what the book was?
Oh God, no, I don't remember. But it was yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, no, I wish I really need to find that letter that he sent me.
We'll figure it
Um,
out one day.
yeah, one day I will figure it out. I wish yeah, wrote it down somewhere, but it was so
Well,
long
I
ago,
mean, you
like,
didn't know
it's like
20
30
years ago
years
that
ago.
you were going to be doing a Love and Rockets podcast.
That's
Podcast
right.
didn't even
True.
exist yet.
And email didn't exist, so I can't even, kind of do a search.
Right.
It's like it was paper. It was so yeah.
Paper?
So of it,
What's
yeah.
what's
I know.
paper, say the kids.
I know, it's paper and pen.
Stamp?
Uh,
What's a stamp?
Stop making us feel old, Dad.
uh,
Making you
so
feel old. You're the youngster.
Yeah, no, you're the baby. What do you know about all this, Marisol? Have your parents ever mentioned any of this stuff, or have you ever?
No, nothing, nothing like this. I mean, I have discussed before with my mom, like nothing super in depth, but she's told
Mm,
me about like um when Mexico was fighting for independence, and that was the big one we had talked about.
mm-hmm.
Um, Not really like anything like this that we have
No.
in the issue right now, where there's just I don't want to say infighting because that feels like the wrong word, but like that I did not grow up hearing about a very extensive
Mm,
history of Mexico. I think that was partially due to the fact
yeah.
that my dad wanted us kind of assimilated is the best word that I have right now.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Because I know,
Yeah.
like, even growing up, he was the one who never wanted my brother and I to even know Spanish.
Right. Mm-hmm.
He came here when he was like 7, 8 years old, and I think that for him was mostly the mindset of, you know, his kids, although like we look obviously very brown, we look very Hispanic, he wanted to lessen, I think, in a way, I kind of hope, potential discrimination by not having us learn
Mm-hmm.
Spanish. But at the same
Mm-hmm.
time, I'm really glad my mom told him to, like, fuck off, I'm teaching my children Spanish. That's
Good for
part of their
her.
culture. I do what I want,
Yeah.
and
Mm,
you can shut up about it. Um, but yeah, growing up, it was not a lot of discussions of like the history of Mexico. I know we have like, or my mom has one or two books in Spanish that goes through like a broad history of
mm-hmm.
Mexico and like others, I guess, using and abusing their their people for their own benefit as far as something like this that we see in issue 30.
Mm.
But I don't think I've ever actually read that book. I've seen it. I know what it looks like, but I don't think I've ever actually picked up that book because it's one of those like big, um, almost legal size
Oh my God.
pages um of a book. Some bits of it illustrated. I can't remember for the life of me where it is. But yeah, growing up, that was not something huge that was talked about in
Mm.
our family. Like, if we ever had questions, then like mom would talk to us about it, or like I know a couple times growing up, the question came up of like, why do what is actually celebrated on Cinco de Mayo? When is actually Mexico's independence? And those two were the main ones. But
Mm.
yeah, a lot of growing up was just learning the history of America in school, and we know how that is not the best or most accurate
You mean
telling of
even
history.
even before woke education and the pushback against it, we didn't actually teach all perspectives.
Mm-mm.
I don't believe it.
I don't believe it.
I know it's like I don't know what they're complaining about. It's like,
Right. Yeah, and
Well,
unfortunately, this
and
was
what I don't
nothing that like.
get, what I don't get, and particularly when talking to Maria here, who lived parts of this. And so when you're learning history that you have family that lived through, and you're getting just the sanitized white version of it, how does that wind up feeling? I mean, all we hear about is, oh, we don't want kids to feel bad about themselves, and that's why we can't teach
Right.
it. But how do you feel if you're the kid that, you know,
Mm.
It kind of feels like you're missing out in a way. Like at least it did for me, because obviously, as you get older, you learn more things and you're more aware of you know shit that happens in the world. And maybe you look into other history stuff and see that things weren't exactly as they told you in the high school history classes, and they were a lot more gruesome, a lot more awful for the people involved a lot of the time. And I know, at least for me, um, really only having mostly watered down American history taught to me, it
Mm.
feels like I'm missed
well,
out on a lot. It
I mean,
feels like there's so much that either was neglected to be taught to me or skipped over entirely.
Mm.
And it's
You
just
be
all
lied to,
these,
man.
yeah, exactly.
I
Like
mean,
all these
I mean,
awful things that
even
we were not
even
taught.
even as the privileged white guy, the older I get, the more I realize that there's so many things that are incredibly bloody
Hmm.
and or just devastating for other people. The way we learn about them is about how they improved US economics.
Mm.
Yeah, we learn about other people's and cultures' history in the way that that affected America.
Right.
Mm.
But generally
Like
Yeah.
the
only in the good ways. I
little,
mean, I just read a book that really looked at the Western expansion of the United States, but more from the indigenous side.
mhm,
Um, and the way it gets presented in our history classes is that it was just this nonstop progress across the United States, particularly if you don't really stop and go, well, wait a minute, it still took us almost 200 years to to take the continent all the way across. But with rare exceptions, you only hear about the U.S. victories. You don't hear about when the native tribes pushed them back. You don't hear
mhm,
about the fact
Mm.
that Custer's last stand wasn't some blunder. He was lured into a trap and slaughtered. And
Mm.
like not surprisingly, because they'd been, those tribes have been kicking our asses for 30 years in that area at that point.
Mm.
well,
um
history is written by the victors.
Eventually we just had more people and outlasted them and or
Mm.
played them against each other, and they didn't really necessarily always want to be fighting, so they were willing to make treaties with us, only we treated treaties as, okay, fighting's over until we feel like we can win, and then we'll forget about this treaty.
Exactly.
Mm.
Like the minute we've got the upper hand, the minute we can win, all bets are off.
Which eventually they started behaving as well, and things got even bloodier, and that made it easier to get people involved. Oh, look at this atrocity! It's like, well, yeah, because when you go in and slaughter their village, that makes them upset, and then they slaughter your village.
Hmm. This is
Mm.
why we can't have nice things.
Pretty much. Um,
Oh.
so yeah, no, I mean, I appreciate, as painful as this book is, I appreciate that it is this, not that long ago, not that far away,
Hmm.
there was real painful revolution going on in a way that I don't think we think about very
No,
much
Mm.
and
in the United
that's
States.
honestly something I appreciated about this issue. Like it felt more, what's the word I want to use here? Like you know how I said a little bit ago that growing up learning history here in the US still felt like things were missing out. Now reading this issue, um, felt like I was more clued into those other things that, you know, our high school history classes barely skimmed over for things that were
Mm.
happening in the rest of the world.
I think that
Mm.
it's also um, an important thing to consider as we consider immigration. So much the
Hmm.
immigration issue is made out to be, oh, they're just coming for better jobs or better technology or better healthcare or whatnot. And no, they're coming because their lives are in danger.
Hmm.
Other people, that's right. Well, the people that
People don't
make
people
that
don't
trip.
cross Mexico on foot.
Mm.
Yeah, that's not a trip
Be,
you
be,
make just on a whim.
because they want to come be a janitor.
Yeah, that's right. Well,
Yeah,
look, if we
that is
could,
not a journey you take on a whim. Like,
For that matter, people don't cross Mexico on foot because they want to come be a criminal.
hmm.
They can be a criminal anywhere in Mexico. They can be a criminal anywhere. I mean, you can be a criminal anywhere.
Yeah.
mm,
There's not anything about the United States that makes it like a better place to be a criminal.
Yeah, but you don't have to go to another country to keep doing that.
Right. You know, if you want to live your life by preying on other people, you don't have to leave your own country to do that.
No.
mm,
You know, no matter where you live. I mean, even if you want cool gadgets and stuff, at this point, you know, if you want an iPhone in the middle of nowhere, somebody will get it to you if you pay them
Hmm.
enough. And if you're a criminal that's willing to steal everything from the people around you to be a criminal, then you're going to be able to pay for it. You don't have
Right.
to
mm.
go to the United States where everybody and their uncle has a gun. You know what I mean? Um, no, the people who make that trek are people who have nothing to lose.
I recently read this book called Solito, and it's written by this Salvadoran guy from my country, who um, he did this crossing when he was 9, and he had to do it by himself with a
Hmm.
bunch of strangers, because his parents had migrated 5 years before, and
Right.
when they were able to save money to get him. Um, he stayed with his grandparents and his aunt, in El Salvador, and then eventually his parents decided, well, they were able to save the money, and they decided to have him, you know, to bring him out, take him, to get a coyote, which is the human trafficker, I guess, if you want, the same man that had helped them cross, to help him cross, and he's written this memoir. And this guy is now, he's a poet, and he went to Harvard and all this stuff. So the book is amazing.
Yeah, no, it looks
And
good. I just pulled it up.
it's a great read. Like, it's you can't put it down, and it's amazing because he was just this kid, and he's had a lot of therapy to be able to
Oh,
to
I'm
to
not
write it.
surprised. Like that's
uh, and it's amazing because he was able to sort of to survive it relatively unscathed.
hmm.
But you kind of and the whole thing is told from his point of view, how he saw the whole thing, from the point of view of a 9-year-old, and you know, you sort of see how the other people were, and they were all really, pretty much most of them, really nice people. They were just people, you know, just people.
Yeah.
I mean, you really get a sense of they're just people, you know, and just I mean, just and I sort of read it, and it really, like, the thing that really hit me was that if he was a pretty brainy kid. Obviously, he went to Harvard, so he's a bit of a very smart kid, and he immediately worked out that if he was compliant, and if he was, you know, if he didn't, you know, bother the adults too much, that he was going to make himself kind of agreeable, and that they were going to look after him, and they did, you know. But I imagine that imagine a kid with a difficult personality, an abused kid, or, you know, or someone like that. They're the kids that, you know, shit happens to them in those treks, you know, they get abused, you know, predators immediately pick them, you know. Because I was expecting, oh my God, you know, this kid's gonna get, what's gonna happen to this kid? And at the end of the book, I was like, oh my God, you know, he made it. And I'm sorry, that's a spoiler.
Journeys like that are terrifying. Like, I know my mom made that journey by herself from Mexico to here in the US, but she was in her early 20s. But again, she was a young woman, like 21, 22, making this journey alone, and nothing happened to her.
Wow. Yeah.
Thankfully, nothing happened to her, but
so many
those
people,
circumstances, so many people aren't that fortunate.
Yeah. And I mean, if someone's traumatized,
that he was fine already doing this journey as a kid.
Yeah. And like the adults around him, like he found adults that looked after him, like this woman, and had a daughter around his age, and this other guy, and they just looked after him, you know,
they won't always look out for you.
Right.
No. Thankfully somebody did, but for something like that, I feel like a lot of the times people are very much every man for themselves.
But he nearly, like, you know, but he had to cross twice, and like they got caught, and they were sent back, and he got caught, you know. It was just, so he nearly died in the desert. Like, it was still pretty amazing. Like, he still nearly didn't make it, and he reckons that a few people in his group must have died, just that he doesn't know because he was 9. And but you know, but it really quite an extraordinary tale, and it's quite a great book. Actually, it's quite amazing. Sorry, I probably spoiled.
No, absolutely. It just made my reading list.
Okay, good. Yeah. I think everybody should read it.
And for that matter, as I was, have you heard of What You Have Heard Is True?
No.
Memoir of Witness and Resistance by Carolyn Forshey.
I have not.
Because I was trying to do research and figure out what the book you'd sent all those years ago was, and I haven't found that yet. This one is from 2019, and it sounds like a young poet went to Carolyn Forshey is 27 when the mysterious stranger appears on her doorstep. The relative of a friend, he is charming polymath with a mind as seemingly disordered as it is brilliant. She's heard rumors from her friend about who he might be: a lone wolf, a communist, a CIA operative, a sharpshooter, a revolutionary, a small coffee farmer. But according to her, no one seems to know for certain. He is driven from El Salvador to invite Forshey to visit and learn about his country. Captivated for reasons she doesn't fully understand, she accepts and becomes enmeshed in something beyond her comprehension. Together, they meet high-ranking military offers, impoverished farm workers, and clergy desperately trying to assist the poor and keep the peace. These encounters are part of his
Wow.
plan to educate her, but also to learn for himself just how close the country is to war. As priests and farm workers are murdered and protest marchers attacked, he is determined to save his country, and Forche is swept up in his work and in the lives of his friends. Pursued by death squads
Oh,
and sheltering in safe houses, the two forge a rich friendship as she attempts to make sense of what she's experiencing and establish a moral foothold amidst profound suffering. It's a powerful
wow.
story
What's
of a
it called
poet's
again?
experience in a country on the verge of war. It's called What You Have Heard Is True, a memoir of witness and resistance. It was a
Wow.
National Book Award finalist in 2019.
Sounds like a
Colin
book that's absolutely
Forget.
going to make me cry reading it.
Yes, it does, doesn't it?
Yes,
Leonel.
just from that summary.
Leonel.
Yeah.
Hey, okay. Cool. All
It's
right.
like that
I'm
sounds
gonna
like one
have
of
to
those
read
books.
that.
You gotta be in the right and healthy headspace to read this.
I've been doing more
Wow.
and more nonfiction as my car listens. So, this one will have to go on the list too. I just dropped a link in the chat.
Okay, Kindle 1550, or should I make it an audiobook? Oh,
Well, see, I have a tendency to do the Kindle with the audible narration.
yeah,
Oh,
Then I
no, but
can go
that's
back and
double.
forth.
yeah.
Yeah,
Look at
no.
you.
Yeah, that is
But yeah, no,
probably.
I mean, one of our regular themes with Love and Rockets has been how much
Hmm.
it both shares a couple of different cultures with those of us who haven't lived them, but at the same time shares how much is alike. I mean, if you weren't talking about people dying, the political conversation happening in this book could be similar to any college campus talking about January 6th or whatever. It just hasn't been at that level of extreme um on American soil yet.
Mhm.
Um
Mm.
but particularly after, 28, 29 issues where we see so much more that's the same versus different, to see this trauma.
Mm.
um I think for me, and I've always been not quite an open border guy, but lots of legal immigration guy, um,
Mm.
reminds me why, you know,
Yeah.
humans are human. People are people. Doesn't matter where they come from, doesn't matter what they look like. Uh, and in general, when people are willing to put them through massive hardship to leave the home that they've known to quite possibly never return,
Mhm.
it's not on a whim.
Yeah.
So the idea that they would show up and we'd say sorry is to me anyway just reprehensible. We're the richest country in the world. Um, the idea that we can't find a way to be humanitarian
Yeah.
is
Well,
just
I
ridiculous.
definitely.
mean, the sad part you also gotta consider this is America. We're very selfish
Yep, always have
in
been.
those ways. It's all about,
I can
oh,
I
what's
can
gonna
dream
benefit
though, can't I,
us?
Marisol?
Yeah, dreams are
Look,
nice.
the easiest thing would be to support democracy and to support, people getting living wages in other you know what I mean? Like
Everywhere. Yeah, no,
Mhm.
absolutely.
everywhere. Because
Yeah,
really you want to support people having uh, not exploiting people in other
right.
Right.
countries would be a good start, and then
And it's yeah, and it's not just like we want
that
better
Yeah,
things for
there'd
it
be a
would,
lot
here.
less
because really
illegal immigration if we weren't encouraging our countries to go and pillage
that's right,
other
you know.
countries,
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, like, stop supporting murderous uh, governments and other places. Stop
Uh,
supporting
uh,
bullshit, and then,
maybe stop arming the drug cartels. I mean,
That
Mexico
too.
would
yeah.
probably appreciate that if guns stop
So,
flowing so freely across the southern border.
yeah.
Um,
Also, so,
Border towns would be
like the
significantly safer, probably.
stop, stop setting up cheap labor.
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah,
If we could just share the wealth a bit
yeah,
south of the border, maybe people wouldn't need to leave, and then
yeah,
But
you wouldn't have
that's
this
not
problem.
convenient for us.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I
well,
We're
mean,
not gonna
but
do
it,
that.
this is the
it's
thing.
not convenient to the stockholders though, Maria. I mean, don't you
No,
Exactly.
understand
It's
that if
not
I
stocks go
know,
convenient.
I know,
down,
but
Bottom line.
that
the
means that we
people,
failed.
Oh, I made
but
myself
the
sad.
people that get upset about the immigration are the working class people in the United States, and but they
You know,
support the billionaires, like
yeah,
Trump.
I was going to say I don't
You
even know
know,
that. I mean, sometimes it's the working class people. I think the working class people can be riled up into being upset about immigration.
Oh
I think
yes.
it gets used as a tool more
yeah, that's right. By
than
the 1%, by the
right.
really rich people that
Yeah.
own
Well,
the
the ones
corporations
that
that.
don't understand their own businesses, because like the good businessmen are going, wait a minute. You understand that there aren't enough people working in America to or
Oh,
living in America to actually fill
oh,
the job needs that we have.
oh yeah, no, they love it. They love it on the quiet. They love
Right.
it.
Yeah.
They don't say that, but they love to manipulate the working class into hating,
I mean,
it's just
because that's the other thing that
for the
gets
political
ignored
reasons.
is that most of those immigrants have had people come to them and say, "Hey, come to America. We have jobs for you."
Hmm.
Yeah.
And that's a
Uh,
huge reason that people are here for work
You
to
know,
make
I
their
mean,
lives make their lives better, make their families' lives better. And of course, America being America, we have to exploit all that
well, I mean,
because we wouldn't be America if we didn't exploit other people for our own benefit.
well,
mm,
not for our own benefit, for
for
I
the
am
benefit of the.
the
I am
really,
making
really
myself
rich
sad this
dudes.
morning. I need to stop. It's not
Hey,
Yeah.
even
Oh
there
my
11
God.
was
o'clock
a great
yet.
piece of news. The Donald
Hey.
fell off of the Forbes 400 list.
Yes.
He's no longer one of the 400 richest people in the United States,
Oh, that makes me
which
unreasonably happy.
which I think was very painful to him.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Let him suffer.
I,
Uh,
I'm sick of him. Um. Shall we
Marisol, are
continue
we hitting the
discussing the
time where you
comic?
need to run?
I have 10 more minutes. Yeah, I greatly misunderstood the time of my appointment
Oh, okay.
because I apparently don't know how to read. So I got like
So,
10, 15 minutes before I gotta run.
Okay.
can I mention? The death of. Oh yeah, what's his name? For God's sakes, what's his name? The Indio. What's his name, man?
I
Oh,
cannot remember
her
for the life of
father.
me.
Um,
For God's sakes, what is his name? Anyway,
I'm
Hector.
looking
Did
No,
they mention it
for
this
a
issue
place
or
where
was that
they.
last issue?
brother. Eduardo. Eduardo
Ah,
Yeah.
is his name. His death is a bit sad. That was so
yeah.
cool the way the kids found. I mean, not cool, but the way Beto depicts the way the kids find him, and they're like, "Oh, is he asleep?" And they lift his head,
Yep.
take off his hat, then, and they're like, "Oh."
Yep. It's left up to your imagination, which is terrifying.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, oh my god.
Like
And
even from
then,
the way he draws or the way they draw their expressions, discovering, what's under the hat.
yes,
It kind of makes you go, oh, that's
yeah.
how bad this looks right now. Oh no.
And I love the next page when Ophelia takes Luba to look at the storm. My mother used to take us. We used to, whenever there was a big fire in San Salvador, and we used to hear the firefighters, and my mom would go like, "Come on, kids!" and she'd put us all in the car, and we'd drive and find fire, and then she,
Like a
for
little
some
help.
reason she loved. Yeah, she used to love to take us to look at fires. And did you notice how, Tad, you're probably more familiar with this artist, with Elder, the you know the panel on the bottom left of page 30? It looks like Will Elder. You know the artist?
On page
Will,
30.
yes, page
Yeah,
39,
it does.
sorry.
29.
Will 39. When
39.
Ophelia has Luba and they're both
Oh,
going,
the
ha ha ha
smile.
ha.
Yeah, that's definitely got
That looks like,
some Will Elder feel.
doesn't it? Yeah. I thought that was a great, that's gonna be my favorite panel for this one. Because it's
What was
like
that?
Will Elder.
I think my favorite panel is the black cat
Oh yeah, that was good.
silhouette in the room.
Will Elder was an artist from the 1950s.
Oh,
One of the original
Uh,
Mad Magazine artists.
Mad Magazine
oh,
artist,
Yeah.
and
wow.
that's very reminiscent of his style.
Will Elder's
that
done a lot of
panel.
great stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So,
it's very Will Elder.
oh, and then we come to this scene in the woods that's really like,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
that's heavy.
that was
Well, and
brutal.
particularly because Luba's hiding,
Yes,
and you've got the fist again.
The
Ophelia
fist.
threatens her into hiding
Ophelia
and
is
keeping quiet.
being raped and has the wherewithal to hold
To,
her fist out to Luba to keep her hidden.
yeah.
Uh,
And basically, I think those guys are basically government guys or military
I mean, they seem to have
you know,
uniforms.
like, do you think, or they're death
At least one of
squads
them
or
does.
something, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And
I
they're,
mean,
but
on
yeah,
page
that really,
44, there's the one that seems to be in some sort of uniform.
oh, okay. Let me have a look. Oh, 44.
So, I mean, it kind of feels like they're,
Oh, yeah.
And they killed
you
her
know,
other friends too.
they're acting as bandits, but it's more
Oh, no, they're like
they're government
paramilitary kind of.
right.
Yeah, for sure. And they're, you know, they're acting like, yeah, basically like death squads. That's their modus operandi. So, yeah, this really hit me. Yeah, because yeah, like I was telling Tad earlier that I have a brother who was taken by government people from our home on a Sunday morning, and we never saw him again. He wasn't involved. He was like Ophelia, you know, he wasn't involved with anyone, but he knew, I don't know, everybody knew people. We knew, yeah, I knew
Right.
people,
Well, I mean,
Somebody knows
but
somebody that's involved.
yeah, and
or you're a
they,
teenager that was at one rally, you know. I
Mm-hmm.
mean,
yeah, and I mean, he wasn't a teenager anymore. He was grown. He had a son,
oh God.
and he had a job. Like he wasn't doing. The only thing he used to do was he used to smoke. He was a dope smoker. He was a very cool guy, very, you know, very chill.
Yeah.
Really, he wasn't involved in anything. He was so not involved in anything. And they came looking for a friend of his, and they came and searched the house, our house. I wasn't there because I was at my mom's, because my mom had a beauty salon, and she worked even Sunday morning, so I was at her salon helping her out. and and so it was my other brother was there, and uh, and they came and they searched the house because somebody had told them that, I don't know, somebody had tipped them about something, but they found nothing there. And then they took my brother, and we never saw him again. So, and I was saying to Tad earlier that the hardest thing is, that you, you don't you don't want to think of, you kind of don't want to think about it because you don't know what happened to him and you don't want to know. But occasionally your imagination kind of goes
Mhm.
there, and it's really hard, and these sort of scenes, you kind of go, fuck. uh,
Yeah,
it's really
these are
cool.
scenes where, at least for me, you kind of gotta glance over first and do
Mm,
a reread
mm,
after.
mm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
it's
this
pretty.
is
It's a very, very heartbreaking moment. Very, disgusting things that are happening there, but that was reality for a lot of people.
Yeah, and I know people in Australia who also came around the same time that I left, who have had even worse. Like I personally didn't experience anything at all violent,
Hmm.
but my brother obviously got uh, taken. But
And like, people who have.
I know people who lived in the countryside, and who had the army would come into their town, and they would kill people that they knew, like relatives or their brother or whoever, and they would have their bodies in the middle of the village, and they would see if anybody would react. And you had to look at your loved one dead in the middle of the plaza or whatever, and you had to not react, because if you did, then they would know that they were related to you.
right.
Like some of the stories are like, oh my god, like really heavy, really, like you, that's why, yeah, you got what you have heard is true. Like that book, you
Right.
know. Um, I don't know why I'm gonna read that book really, but because I didn't live through. I was really lucky because I lived in the city, and I was, relatively, I have privileged compared to other people. I wasn't rich or anything, but I was privileged to live in the city. I was away from most of the conflict.
Hmm.
Um, but the people who lived in the countryside were in it, you know, and I met a lot of them in Australia, and this shit with the digging the trenches and getting all that stuff happened to people, you know, or their loved ones, or you know, yeah. So it's so I'm just in awe of Beto tackling this. I mean, it's just amazing.
Well, they've tackled a bunch of different and also difficult topics and other issues, and that's one thing, I really do love about this series. It doesn't
Mm,
shy away from reality. It doesn't shy away from the truth of what happened to people.
Right.
mm. And human
As
nature and
hard as it is to read sometimes, and
mm, yeah,
depending on the subject matter or like how close it hits to home, it is difficult to read sometimes. I like that it's in a way uncensored.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like they don't
Oh,
water down the things that were happening.
yeah.
It's like, no, this was
And
reality for a lot of people back then. This is how things were. This is how,
Things
murder
are.
murders were committed, how investigations were, swept aside and basically ignored, and no one tried very hard because blah blah
I mean, I
blah,
think it's
whatever.
important to say, not just then. This is how things still are
Yeah.
in some places.
Mm,
This is the type of
mm,
thing that people are fleeing.
yeah,
Um, yeah,
yeah. They just, yeah, that's right.
And I love that kind of, I love and hate that kind of makes the series
I hadn't even
timeless,
noticed the
because
cruise ship.
so much of it still, relates and applies to present day. As
Yeah,
awful as that is to realize. Like, again,
I
I am just
mean,
now making myself
I,
sad
I'm
this
just I
morning.
just went back to
But
the first couple of pages here.
mhm.
mm,
And you've got the city and him begging, but then you also see that it's like this vibrant city, and then you've got this tourist beach, and then you've got the cruise ship in the
yeah,
background.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. That
It,
it's such a different reality. That's right.
yeah,
I
it's
lived
it's
in
this
that city.
reminder that you don't have to go very far.
Yeah, that's right. It's the same because it's the same country. It's all
Right.
that's all in the same country. It's just a
Mhm.
different area of the country. Like and it's yeah, and that's Latin America for you. That's the
Yeah.
divide between the rich and poor. And
Yeah.
the realities of the people. The people when he's begging in the street, and then there's you know he's really poor and dirty, and there's all these lights and billboards and if you, I mean that
Right.
I see that in America anyway, in the United States anyway,
Yeah.
Mhm.
any big city, you see the contrast between rich and poor.
I
And
was I was walking in a park yesterday downtown
I never noticed the news.
and seeing the tents set up all over the place right now. Um, you know, because again, we're the richest country in the world, and somehow we can't put roofs over everybody's head.
Mm.
Nope, that's not profitable.
Yeah.
And we're all
Yeah.
about that here.
Well,
Well,
Marisol, I know you need to go.
I
Um,
do. So I'm looking for um
there,
my favorite panel just to leave off on that, because I gotta.
yeah, let's what I was gonna say is let's actually split this issue in half because there's something else that we need to record this morning that I was hoping to have Maria involved in. So
mhm.
let's only do Poison River this
Okay.
week, and when we reconnect, we'll take a week off from Poison River. We won't do part three of Poison River right away. We'll do a week of
Okay.
just Maggie and Hopi. Not that
Okay.
that not that it's a particularly easier Maggie and Hopi story, but
No,
it's a little bit easier.
just a little,
Yeah, yeah.
given the circumstances of the story.
I mean, this is a heavy issue.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah.
Ah, yes.
So
It's
yeah, let's talk some
prime love and rockets here. We'll be talking prime love and rockets.
Oh
let's
yeah.
talk some favorite panels.
I would say my favorite would be the two bottom panels at the very end of this story, with just like the silhouette of the houses and the cacti, and
Oh yeah,
then
yeah, yeah.
the panel after with Luba just collapsed and exhausted in bed.
Mm, yeah, yeah, great.
It's just like now we're seeing her a little more grown up. We're seeing a little peek into her early life of, I guess, like, working and being busy, and now it's
Right.
kind of seeming like she's had to be, on and working and busy for a very, very large part of her life. Because she looks
Yeah.
maybe 10 years old,
Right. 10
if
to
that.
12, something like that.
Yeah. somewhere
Yeah.
early adolescence. And I
Yeah.
also I just love that silhouetted scenery of like excuse me, of like
That moon.
the massive moon and the shaded yeah, shaded outline of
Yeah.
the houses and the cacti. It looks so good.
I am also going with a silhouette and a massive moon, but it's going to be page 33 and the cat on the roof.
The cat, yeah.
I just love that panel. And it's so all of the the drama and chaos and mild amounts of humor on these 2 pages. And then to just finish with the cat on the roof looking at the moon
Hmm.
Mm.
and the
Very,
broken heart in the corner is just like kind of ties it all together.
yeah.
Mm.
And I love the contrast of those panels. Both,
Right.
I'd say the one with the cat and the one with the cactus. Very
Mm.
calm and serene as opposed to everything that's happened before that.
Yeah.
Like you have all this chaos, all this busyness, all this mess, all this drama, and then just a calm, quiet evening.
Yeah. Yeah. It's good.
So Maria, do you have a favorite? I thought you said one earlier, but I forget which
Oh,
one
it's
it
the
was.
elder, the Will
Oh, the Will
Elder panel,
Elderish. Yeah.
Elderish panel.
Yeah. Laughing in the
It's
Storm,
just great.
page 39.
It just reminded me of my mom in the fires, just come
Yeah.
on, let's go watch the
Hmm.
fire brigade. And we used to be out all night, really late at night, and then we'd go and there was this place, this little like a food truck that was open all night long. That was famous in San Salvador, and we'd go and eat there after
Nice.
watching the fire, after watching the fire consume the building.
Dinner and a show.
Yeah, we go there, and we're kids, like, oh, this is an adventure. Then we'd go there and we'd
Yeah.
have we'd go and eat there, and then we'd go home. And I don't remember if it was a school night or what, but it was. I don't think it was, because I'm pretty sure I was at school yet, but my brothers were. I'm sure they were tired the next day. Yeah, no, it's just magical. There's the crazy things that my mother did. She wasn't mentally ill or anything. She
No,
just
but like
had a streak of let's go and do this. This is
those are the
you know
weird, quirky things, quirky
quirky.
memories that stick with you.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I don't know why
She
we
loved
did this,
it.
but we did it. It was kind of fun.
Yeah, yeah. It's sort of like this scene with
Yeah.
Ophelia and Luba. Like she's just giving her a spectacle or something.
Yeah. It's a little adventure.
Little adventure.
Okay. All right. Well, I gotta bounce.
All right.
Okay.
So it's going to be a couple weeks because Maria, you're headed back to Australia, right?
Yeah, I'm headed back tomorrow morning, tomorrow
Ooh,
afternoon. Yeah,
have a
So,
and
safe
then
flight.
thank
Marisol,
you.
we'll start doing, I think,
Flights.
Saturday nights rather than Saturday mornings.
Okay.
Yep.
Um,
Do we
and
know
and
about the times?
it's gonna be like 7 o'clock
Yeah,
for us.
Oh,
something
perfect.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, like 7 o'clock for us makes it Sunday morning for her.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
So that's what we're gonna shoot for, and it'll be the 21st for us, 22nd for her.
Mhm.
Is I think the next time we're gonna try to record.
Mhm.
So,
All right.
um,
Cool
for
beans.
Maria, for Marisol, for the 22 panels, Love and Rockets Book Club. We will see you after the next page.
Hey guys, this is Tyler from 22 Panels. I'm here to tell you all about our Patreon. If you enjoy this show, please consider donating to our Patreon to keep this show going. We have many different tiers, all different levels to help you decide what's right for you. Okay, so get on out there to patreon.com/22 Panels Podcast.